Sharon, Sharon, yeah!
Hi guys, I'm Sharon Sharelike, and today's tutorial is about how to make a headdress. And you're gonna just use some things that you probably already have around the house. You need some tin foil, you need some duct tape for starters. The first thing we're gonna make is the cap that goes over your head to hold the headdress on. I usually make this on my actual head, but today I'm gonna make it on this wig form because it'll be a little bit easier and I can see what I'm doing. So what you wanna do first is just cover your head with tin foil. And just kind of smush it in and try to get it all the way around your head. I'm doing one from side to side, one from front to back. And once again, I would usually just do this on my head, but I don't want to mess up my makeup. I'm going to do a couple layers of this actually. We'll do one more side to side. And what this is doing is it's just gonna give your cap some shape and some stability. We'll do one more. You can also use that heavy duty foil. That might even be better because it's a little bit stronger. Okay, you're gonna form this really tightly now on your head. You can see I wouldn't be very good at making a video if my face was covered. All right, now we're gonna take the duct tape and we're just gonna start wrapping this duct tape around this tin foil. And you're just gonna cover the entire thing with duct tape. Okay, so now we've got the entire thing covered, and what we're gonna do then is take a Sharpie marker, and if this was actually on your head, you would like feel right here where your forehead is, and you would make a dot. And then you would feel here where your temples are, and make a dot. And then you can kind of feel in the back, down by the base of your neck, and you'd want to make 2 dots back there too. And then you're ready to take it off of your head and do some cutting. All right, so now we've got it off of the head, and what we're gonna do is kind of decide what the shape of our cap that we want is. So this was the dot that was right on the forehead. So I'm gonna kind of draw on this rounded shape, like so. So this was the dot where the temple was, right here. And then we'll probably make a little shape for the ear. And then we can go down to the bottom. That was the back of the neck, those 2 dots. Go up for our ear again. And you can kind of play with this and make a shape that fits best on your head. All right, the next thing that we're gonna do is get a pair of scissors, and we're gonna cut out our shape. Now so far all this is duct tape and tin foil. And you can see I'm just cutting right on that line. Okay, and now we've got our basic cap. Now the next thing that we're gonna do is completely fill that inside with duct tape as well. So what I would do is I would just fill this all the way in with duct tape. Just put pieces of duct tape in there because you want it all covered with duct tape. They make a lot of different colors of duct tape now too, so if you were like making, let's say, a pink headdress, you might want to get pink duct tape. I usually decorate my stuff with fabrics anyway, but might come in handy if you use the correct color of duct tape. So now I'm just going to keep filling this in. Okay, so now we've got our cap all the way covered in duct tape on the inside and the outside. And you could even put a couple layers on if you wanted to, because it helps to give it some stability. And then this should fit on your head. And it's a pretty tight fit too. All right, let me show you one that I did earlier. This is a headdress that I've worn before, and you can see here I've got the duct tape cap that we just did. And now I'm going to start showing you how to actually make the headdress. This piece up here is just made out of foam core that you can get at the hobby store. I use 1/4 inch. I have a piece of it here. But what you would do then is you would you're trying to get this shape right here. So what I found works pretty good is if I take a piece of wire and like bend the wire to try to get it the correct shape. And then I can take a piece of paper and fold it in half, and I can put that wire on there and cut that shape out. And that gives me an idea of what the shape is that I'm going to need to make. And I would kind of play with this to get it exactly right, because you want it to fit just right over that cap. So then what I do is I use this, this is a paper that I get at the hardware store. I think they put it underneath wood flooring, but it really comes in handy. It comes in a big roll. I use this for all my patterns, and I use this a lot. You can put it down when you're like doing spray adhesive. But I would take and fold this in half, and then I'm going to put this piece on that I made the shape of the head and draw that on. So now I know what the shape of my head is. And then I have to decide what I want my headdress to look like. I'll just kind of do a free form thing here. One thing that I've learned is that you want to kind of have larger shapes. Like if I did a shape that was really, like for instance, say this shape came down here into a long point like that. This foam core is just not strong enough, and if you bump against a wall or something, that's going to break off. So try to make your shapes more solid and larger. See how this is bigger than this little skinny piece down here? So then what I would do is just cut this out of this paper, because you don't want to be cutting out on your foam core and mess it up. And by having this folded, I'm getting the exact same shape on the other side as well, so both sides will be exactly the same. And then this part is what goes over your helmet headdress thing that you made out of the duct tape. Looks like a pretty nice shape. So you can kind of start to see what that's going to look like. Looks like I need to adjust it a little bit because it doesn't quite fit. So I'm just going to keep messing around with this until I get it to fit. There we go, that's much better. So then what I would do is I would put this down on this foam core and just draw around it, and then just cut this out with a box cutter knife. And once I get that done, I'm just gonna put that foam core on here and use a lot of hot glue and glue it on. And I can show you how I did that on this one. See, there's just a lot of hot glue right here holding it on. This is just the foam core. So once you get that glued, you glue it. Here's a back view. This kind of shows you a little bit better. Look at all that glue on there. And there's just the plain duct tape. So once you get this done, you can paint this foam core ahead of time, or you can wait and paint it afterwards. Then I start covering this duct tape with different colors of fabrics. Whatever design you want to do, there's a million different things you could do to decorate it. I usually just use hot glue to glue this fabric on. I did some stoning here. This was some tape that I got at the hardware store. I think it's for like furnaces or something, but it's like a chrome tape. I just cut that out with the zigzag scissors and stuck it on. Did a little bit more stoning. You can get this marabou trim at the hobby store, at the fabric store, and just glue it around the edges. There's all different kind of things that you can do. And if you notice right here, these big stitches, this is elastic. And I took a big needle and I just stitch in and out all the way around here, because this is where my feathers are going to attach to. So you can see that on the back here. See those? See how that's elastic there? And what happens then is I take my feathers and I just stick them underneath here all the way around. You can get several different feathers in just one of those. I'll talk to you about the different feathers in a minute. But then also for this particular headdress, I didn't want to be able to see these feathers in the back, so I made this second piece, and it's another piece of foam core, and then I just put Velcro on it. So all it does is there's Velcro here too, so once I get all the feathers in, then this just sticks on and covers it so you can't see all those feathers. But anyway, that kind of gives you the basics for just making this first part of the headdress here. Now there's different kind of feathers that you can get. You have your peacock feathers, and they can dye these in a lot of different colors, or you can have natural ones too. These are the ostrich feathers. And then I also have pheasant feathers. These are the natural ones. And then you can also get pheasant feathers that are dyed. You can get them dyed just about any color. But one little trick I learned, sometimes the feathers aren't quite long enough, so I'll take and tape them onto one of these wooden skewers. And then when I put that into the headdress, it makes that feather then stick out really far. And then you can put another little shorter feather in, and you won't see that skewer at all because it'll hide it. And one other thing I wanted to talk to you about was the back of this. It doesn't look very good, but what I usually do is once I get this on my head before I go out to perform, I just put a wig on top of this. And you can just put some pins in it, and it holds the wig on it over that, and it covers it all. So it ends up looking really good, like you've got hair on under it. So anyway, that's a way to make a headdress. There's all different kinds of headdresses that you can make. This was a fun one though. I wanted to make one that had like a face on it. Not sure if I can even get this all in the shot, but this covered my entire face. So I was behind this face. And then once they introduced me, then I just flipped this up, and then my face is right here and they can see me. And one thing that's different about this particular one is I usually wear a bun on top of my head. So when I made that cap, this cap for the headdress, I actually made it over my bun, and then that made it hold on even better. It gave it more stability. And then I had to put some styrofoam in here to attach it to the face. And then I wanted to put the wig on like I told you about before, so I just stuck it in with these pins on the styrofoam. But the way I did this was this piece right here is Velcro. And then there's this little thing right here on the nose, and that's also Velcro. So when that goes together, it just sticks together and stays up. Also, there's another type of headdress that I wanted to show you how to make. These are really simple, and they're like great to travel with. What this is, it's the like interfacing that you put inside of like collars to make them stick up. I got the heaviest interfacing I could get at the fabric store. And then I just cut a shape out that I wanted. And then I took a piece of 3-inch elastic and put it on the back of the interfacing, and I like sew a seam about every 3/4 of an inch. And what that's for is it's to put the feathers in once again. So your feathers can just slide down underneath that, and that holds them in. And then what you do is on the front, then I just take spray adhesive and I put fabric down on there. And then I found some trim that I could put around the edge. And then also the trim acts as a tie. So then what I would do is I can just take this and put it on my head and just tie it around in the back. And then it's got all of those feathers sticking out of the top. And this was another one that I did too. It's just about the same, but on this one I made, here's the headpiece. And once again, it's got the elastic in the back so that you can put all your feathers in it. And then I also made these wrist pieces. It's the same technique, but it's just a little bit different shape. And so this then goes around your wrist after you get all the feathers in it. So you have a wrist piece, and I made these pieces too to go around my ankles. So anyway, I hope this tutorial maybe gave you some ideas on how to make your own headdresses. And please like it if you want to and share it. And I will talk to you again soon. Bye.
Sharon, Sharon, yeah!
Don't forget to subscribe. Bye, guys.